Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. In this video you join me on the top of Hartside Summit. Very windy up here, and I'm going to be doing a bike review video. I've managed to get my hands on another bike, thanks to Tony for lending it to us. It's back there in the car park. I'm going to go through which bike it is, because there's quite a few there, but the title of the video will let that, well, give it away anyway, so I don't know why I'm going to do this, but hey ho, let's go and find which bike I've actually got my hands on today. It's the one I've been wanting to ride for quite a while, and like I said, the idea was because Suzuki have got an event up here today to ride the new 2017 bikes, which I think have actually gone out now, but I tried to book myself a place on it, and guess what, they didn't have any spots. I think they're just going out now actually. A couple of my mates are on that. However, since I wasn't going to get a go on one of them bikes, I rang up my friend Tony and said, look, can I have a go at one of your bikes, because he's got two. And he says yes, by all means, and I got my hands on that gypsy coloured B King, which is a bloody phenomenal bike. I have an issue though, because I do like this bike that much that handling wise it's tons better than the MT. Now my plan of action is, because there's a lot of chippings on the Weardale road, and as you can see by that speed camera up there, the speed cameras dotted around here and there. I think that's the only one here, and that's moved from the bottom bit there. So I'm going to go up Teesdale, because Teesdale's a bit more quiet compared to Weardale, so you stay there. So we're going to have a go up there and go down the twisties and just show you what this bike can actually do. But yeah, I've always been a person that's thought about having small light bikes. Like I say, the MT09 is actually a very small bike. Well, for the size, like the package is very small with a lot of power and a lot of torque out of that 3-cylinder. The engine is phenomenal. It's just the suspension lets it down a bit. So with this, like I say, with big bikes, I always thought, like, oh well, you know, they're more for just kind of cruising around, just kind of, you know, going from A to B without any effort, and you know, other bits and bobs would come along. But this thing gets to A and B in whatever way you want. You can go without any effort, you can go like a mad bloody scalded monkey, you can go, to be honest, you can go mad, like I say. And when I get past these cars, I shall show you. So most of the time when I've actually been riding through Weardale, I've just been under 6,000 RPM. I've just been basically short shifting and keeping it under, and just using the torque of the engine just to kind of pull the bike over. Hey. But yeah, it handles just spot on. I don't have any like worry about going into corners. It's sure-footed. Like I say, I think the weight actually helps with that, because when you go into a corner, all the weight actually gets hunkered down into the wheel, and obviously the more weight you've got, the more force you've got on the wheels at the front and the back, so you actually have got more grip. So it is quite it's a balancing act basically between weight and lightness. Don't get me wrong, a light bike like the MT is hilarious to ride, but can get awfully twitchy. The weightiness kind of dampens it down, so like acceleration and stuff, it's a bit more civilised. However, like I say, you get it up there, it does kind of want to go. So I'm just taking this one a bit easy, because there's always gravel on that corner, and I have had a moment there before. Drop down the box. Gearbox is smooth, responsive. I'm getting used to actually blipping the throttle on the down revs, because it is a bit happy with that one. Right, so I found a nice place to stop here. Look at the valley down there. I'll be going down that way, down the left hand side. Very good road, this one, if you ever up in the northeast. So like I say, if we start from the front of the bike, it basically is a bike that's kind of Marmite in the looking department. It's either you love it or you hate it. I like bikes that are a bit ugly. Like, I like the MT10, I like the MT09, and a lot of people find those bikes Marmite as well. This one is one of the bikes I like because it does look different. You've got a massive headlight at the front, which is, like I say, it's very Street Fighter-ish, the way it's actually the shape of it and all that. It is very Street Fighter-ish, and you've got the binnacle actually housed within the actual light assembly. Oh, there's another few. Hey. And look, there's an MT-09 right there. Love them bikes. So yeah, so you've got all that incorporated into one unit there. Big upside down forks, twin pot calipers, well, 4-pot calipers I should say, either side. Stopping power on this is phenomenal, even if it is that heavy. You've got the gold wheels on the front, which I quite like as well, like the gold bronzy wheels, phenomenal. And then you move up, you've got these big air intakes either side with the indicators incorporated in them, which I think is a nice neat feature, just because having them out on stems does sometimes spoil the lines of the bike, where this is actually incorporated, which is spot on. You've then got the big lumbering engine, which, to be honest, this is the one thing with Hayabusas I don't like. This is why I like naked bikes. You can see everything there, and that 1300cc engine just looks the dogs really, and that black paint, it just looks spot on. And the power in the I think it's 168 horsepower at the back wheel and 91 foot-pounds of torque. More than enough. Basically going up Weardale, I was just sitting short shifting all the way and just taking a nice easy ride, and taking the corners easy as anything. This thing is sure-footed, which I wasn't expecting. I've always had this premise of the big bikes like this are very kind of cumbersome and all that, but once you get going, it's not that bad. It does feel like a very well-footed bike, and I think the weight actually helps that, because it just, when you go into the corner, that weight helps set the tyres into the tarmac and you just get a lot of grip out of it. But if you want to go crazy, you can drop it down a few pegs, get it up around about, I don't know, above 6,000-7,000 RPM, and yet again all hell breaks out and it turns into another type of bike then. But like I say, you can ride it in all styles. The position as well when you're riding, it's quite good actually. You're very upright. I'm sitting very close to the tank. However, if you scoot your bum down, you can actually get your arse against the back hump there, just to, if you are going a bit quick on the acceleration front, you can kind of feel nicely comforted in. However, sitting on the bike, which I'll get on now just to show you, sitting on the bike, and I'll just set the lock off as well. I prefer to sit right up against here, so my legs are tucked in and I'm gripping the tank with my legs. It just feels like, and then pull the bike over. But to be honest, you don't actually have to wrestle it too much. It is quite flickable in the corners, which yet again is something I didn't really think was going to be what this bike was going to do. However, if I think about it, it has got a lot of weight, and that weight is wanting to go that way and that way, so that might be one of the reasons. Seat's very comfortable, even though it doesn't look it. It is padded enough for me. I've done, I would say, about 60 miles on it, and I'm comfortable enough. Don't get me wrong, that's not enough miles to kind of draw any conclusions. The back end is one of the bits where he's actually changed the exhaust system. Tony has. He's got a Yoshimura exhaust system, which from there to there he's actually bought. Ooh, some more bikers. And when he said the price of this system, I was like, what? However, I will agree that the stock system, it comes like with a triangular kind of plastic muffler type thing, and it does look very ugly. It basically makes the arse end look massive, and it comes out to here and stuff, and it just makes the bike look very big-ended at the back. But the Yoshi's definitely tidy that up. I don't think I'll pay the price that T did, like, but yeah, they are very nice. You then come back down to this little mudguard here to obviously put your number plate on. That does look a bit kind of, yeah, if you had that off, I think it would improve the looks of the bike, but most bikes have them on nowadays. It's just the way EU regulations are. But yeah, overall, like I say, the metallic paint, everything, this bike has actually impressed us quite a lot. And I think from now I'm going to take a picture to put on as the front cover of this bike. I'm going to cross over the road. I'm going to get run over. Cross over the road, and I'm going to take that picture right there. Look at that. Do that. Bang. So without further ado, I'm going to ride this bike more because I love it. I'm going to ride it down there and just lap it up for the time I've got. I've got it for the whole day. He says he didn't mind. I'll stick some fuel in. I'm even going to wash it for him, because yeah, you'd be surprised to find out Tony, who's the guy who's got this, bit of a backstory to him. He's actually he passed his bike licence 10 years ago at the grand age of 60. And he's now 70 now, and he's got this B King, or is he 70? He might be 71 now. And he's got this B King, and he's also got a 750 Gixxer, which he rides around. And trust us, when you see him riding these things around, you wouldn't think he was 70, trust me. But it's kind of the old motto, you're only as old as you feel. And I think he feels like he's 20. But trust us, this is a great bike. But it just kind of shows how easy this bike is, because don't get me wrong, Tony does have, and he'll admit he does have his ailments, but he does find it easy to do this bike. That one. But yeah, it kind of just shows that it is an easy bike to ride, and you can ride it whichever way you want. And like I say, the biggest thing that gets me with this bike, and to be honest, it is 4 cylinders in general, but this is definitely one of the smoothest accelerating bikes I have been on. It is phenomenal, and it's also one of the better handling bikes as well. Like I say, the more I think about it, my preconceptions of big bikes have been basically unfounded, and the more I think about the physics and the science behind it, in certain ways bigger bikes have got the capability of handling better, just because of the weight and being able to kind of plant themselves in corners quite easily. But you also have to have that hand in hand with the brakes and the frame, because obviously how heavy this bike is and how much power and torque that engine is putting out along with the weight of the engine, you have to have a frame that is pretty solid, because there's not worse like a Blamongi frame. Blamongi. That sounds like a bike mate, doesn't it? Sounds like an Italian bike mate. That I have got a Blamongi 750. Yeah. But yes, which to be honest, most Italian bikes do have Blamongi frames. But oh god, I'm going to get a lot of grief for that. But yeah, I just feel so comfortable with this bike. It's weird, because a lot of bikes I get onto, it takes us a bit for us to gel. But as soon as I got onto this bike and got through a few twisties, I was set. I was comfortable. I felt relaxed, and that's the thing as well. Because when you actually feel relaxed on a big bike or on any bike, that's when you're great. Whereas on if you don't feel relaxed on a bike, that's bad. Downsides, it's big, as in the size of it is big. Getting this through and out like my shed, I wouldn't be able to get this in, and trying to hop this around like you do with the MT just wouldn't happen. I would bloody knacker me back doing it. And I'm surprised Tony, when he's actually pushing around slow speed, he does say it's a right bugger to push around when he's moving the bikes around, which I can see, and I have actually manhandled this a bit when I've been putting it in the car parks, and it does. There is a lot of weight behind it, and if it did go, it's going. You're not going to stop it. If you're going to drop this, you're going to drop it if you're pushing it around. So that is one big kind of thing you have to think of. But if you've got a garage and you can kind of ride it in and ride it out, I don't see any issue with it. Which a lot of people do have. A lot of people are kind of graced with having garages. I wished I had one for the 6 bikes I've got. Putting them in and out of the wash house, putting them in the conservatory is a right pain in the arse. But I do it because that's all I've got. However, I think that partly kind of reflects on the bikes I got, because one of the reasons I got the MT-09 was because it was a very small package with a lot of power in it. And a lot of faired bikes I just wouldn't get in, and then the fairing takes up a lot of room, because when I put it in my shed there's a lot of handlebars and foot pegs going into other envelopes or other bikes, but because there's no fairing there, it can go in. Whereas faired bikes they wouldn't do that. It would be a foot peg on the fairing, crap the fairing and stuff like that. It's just not on. Other bad things about this, I don't like the speedo. It's very, I have to physically keep tilting my head down. The MT-09 speedo and the other bikes I've got, they're further up, so I can just glance down. This one I have to physically look at it to actually see it, which is kind of a bit disconcerting, especially if you're going around the corner. I do, however, like the central rev counter along with the fuel gauge and the temperature and all that in. And just on that point, as you can see, there's an A at the bottom. This does actually have two modes. It's got an A and the B mode. Like the MT09, A is lunatic mode and B is basically just like wet weather car mode. I did put it in B a bit back because it starts off in A, so it starts off in your full power mode, and I put it in B just to see what it's like. And to be honest, the difference in performance is chalk and cheese. It is literally, the throttle is just, the reaction of the throttle is reduced quite dramatically. However, I can see it being very handy if you were either on like a very wet road or a dirty road and you just wanted to feel a bit safer. It does kind of take that power out of it, that you could kind of accidentally just spin the wheels up and stuff, because how much torque this bike is, if it does hit a slick bit of road, I would dare say you could easily spin the wheels up on it. What else? Like you say, on the original stock bikes, I don't like the way the exhaust looks. I just think it's a bit kind of weird looking, having that square kind of that kind of triangle-y type thing. I think it makes the back end look a lot bigger. However, the two people I know who's got these, Tony and another Paul, another one of the mates I know, he's got a black version, all kitted out carbon fibre and everything. He's got two brothers, something brothers exhaust systems on. That neatens his back end up no end. That sounds wrong. That neatens his back up no end, yeah. If you shove two exhausts up your arse, it neatens your back end up like nobody's business. Don't want to think about that. So yeah, overall it is definitely one of the best bikes I have ridden, and I am over the moon. The other thing that I find quite weird about this bike is the centre console here with the key in it. I keep going to put the key in the actual forks, where obviously all my bikes, the key and the ignition goes there. So I keep going there and then having to go back. That's a weird concept. This is a very cruiser style kind of way of doing it, because cruisers like putting everything kind of up here. But you do lean over. The other thing is as well, to set B mode you have to have it in neutral. Whereas a lot of other bikes like the MT09 and stuff, you don't have to really do that. And the question is, do I want to go? Tell you what, I'm going to go up here towards Westgate. Let's see how this bike is really like on some very, very bad twisties. This road here goes over the tops anyway, so it's a very slow kind of road. You have to pick your way through it, but it's very nice and quiet. So yeah, over the moon. And like I say, I'm going up this road now at 40 miles an hour, and just as this road is horrendously unpaved. This is very badly unpaved. I'm driving in the centre and my arse is in one piece. It hasn't been vibrated. You know when you get jelly and you kind of shake it around an awful lot, it gets like separated and stuff like that. That's basically, I've been on a lot of bikes. My CX500's like that. This bike, comfy as anything. I'm sitting around here and chilled. Nothing. I'm quite amazed. Yet again, I am amazed. Oh god, I should. I've also come to conclude I shouldn't test ride bikes, because if I like it, I like it, and that's the issue. Run, bunny, run! See, now it's got a bit more rough here. I'm going to turn it off while in gear. There we go. Oh, that's another thing I don't like about this bike. One of the few things I don't like, the side stand. A lot of bikes, the side stand is that side of the gear shifter. This one's right here. So the actual little pin that you put your foot on to put it down's here, and trying to find that quickly is a right pain in the backside. So you stay there as I open this gate. Whee! That's another thing I don't like when I've come to think about, is the chrome wing mirrors. I would change them to black. I would like them in black or carbon. Right, we'll just don't even have to start it really. We'll just put the side stand back up so I don't hit that. And I'll stick it here. There we go. Pull it forward a bit. Put my side stand down. I think this road's now paved all the way up. It literally stops here. So this bit of road's actually alright. It wasn't a few years ago. But it's a bit yeah. See, this is the other thing I've just noticed as well. when I was going on about the back end with that tail tidy, the actual main light is here, which is a bit of a bugger. If you could fill that triangle in with one of them, that would be good. We just neaten the back end out and cut that up and bring the number plate up, but obviously EU law doesn't allow you to do that. Well, it does. You can't get off the market ones, it's just the manufacturers that kind of say no. There we go. Onward, Betsy! I actually, to be honest, I think I said this before, I read the MT10, which, like I say, super naked bikes are starting to come back into fashion again. I think this bike came out way too soon. Like I say, it basically it went through 2 generations, and partially because the American market just didn't like it, it never took off. However, I would have one of these over the MT10 any day. Any day. There's a lot less technology on it, and I think, to be honest, that makes the bike have a lot more personality. The MT10 just didn't have any personality. It was a quick bike, but it just had no fun to it. The fun had been taken out. Whereas this bike, you feel like you... It sounds weird, but you do feel like you are the bike. Hey! Right, okay, I have come across some peacocks. I didn't think I was actually going to run into them today. Right. What the hell? This day is full of surprises. Peacock! So, to sum up the B King, well, I've got a couple of words. I love it. I actually have fallen in love with it. It's a bloody good bike, and it's a crying shame that Suzuki don't make it no more. It is. Don't get me wrong. Hey, fuck me. Fuck me! How many times has people nearly killed us on this bloody ride, you fucking arsehole? So, to sum up the B King, well, I love it. That's basically all that can be said. That basically sums it up. The engine's phenomenal, it's got loads of power, loads of torque, it's smooth as anything. The handling is way, way above what I expected. And I'm actually riding this bike better than I would ride the MT09. By, I would say, 3 times better, easily. And part of me feels bad for saying that, because I love the MT09 and I really don't want to find a bike that's better than it, which I know fine well they are bikes, and this one is one of them, because I love it. But I just had preconceptions of this bike, that it was going to be heavy and it was going to be cumbersome and I was going to find it hard to ride, and I haven't. I found it the opposite. I found this is one of the easiest bikes I've ever ridden, and I think my riding today has been one of the best days of riding I've had, because I feel confident in this bike, and I've only had it for a couple of hours, and I feel more confident with this bike than I do with a load of other bikes I've ridden, including my own, and I feel bad for that. I really do. But I think with that, I'm going to pop into stand up and I'm going to have some ice cream, just to calm my nerves down and just get over that shocking fact that I've said that this bike is better than the MT09 in a lot of ways, and I'm astounded by that. So anyway, with that, as always, please comment if you just got any views on the B King. As always, please put them in the comments, and if you've ridden one, please say how you found it and stuff. And like I say, as always, ride safe, keep safe, and I shall see you soon when I find somewhere to park. Where can I park? Oh, I'm going to go up here.